Recently, I've been playing Warriors AllStars, koei-tecmo celebration of the 20th anniversary of Dynasty Warriors. The game is a Warriors title featuring characters from 13 different KT franchises, Warriors or otherwise. Given koei-tecmo's typical focus on the Asian market, the game utilises the voice actors from the Japanese versions even in the Western version. This includes Ben Peel returning as William from Neo. Neo centres on an Irish pirate fighting demons in Japan. Atypically, William and the other non-Japanese characters speak English while the natives speak Japanese. As a result, William continues to speak English in AllStars, making him the only one in the 30 character roster to not speak Japanese. But the characters can all understand each other regardless. This is similar to AllStars' spiritual predecessor, Warriors Orochi, a crossover between Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. In Orochi, everyone spoke the same language, English or Japanese. This seems odd given that these characters are from 3rd century China and 16th century Japan respectively, and even when the third game introduced Joan of Arc and Achilles, no one noted how unusual it was for everyone to be able to understand each other. But you could easily imagine there's some background magic in Orochi's world that allows them to understand one another even if no one acknowledges it. There's a level of abstraction on display that the audience just kind of accepts without really thinking about it. In addition, there's a concept that TV tropes calls translation convention, where characters speak in the viewer's native language even if they're obviously not supposed to be, such as a film where the Nazis speak English instead of German even when speaking to fellow Germans. This concept is also in effect in many fighting games such as KT's own Dead or Alive. Presumably American father and daughter Bass and Tina aren't really speaking Japanese to one another, nor are Japanese ninja Hayate and Ayane speaking English. Put these ideas together for Orochi and the characters are speaking their native languages, but the magic of the world they inhabit allows them to understand each other, and the dialogue is simply being presented in either English or Japanese for the sake of the viewer. This idea does not apply to AllStars, however. While this game also takes place in a world of magic where one could conceive the notion of mystical translation being in effect, by presenting William's dialogue in English and the rest of the cast in Japanese, the suggestion is instead that he is speaking English and everyone else is speaking Japanese. Now, I seriously doubt that Marie Rose, Legrina, Arnis, or Sophie are supposed to be speaking Japanese given their origins in Europe or European-styled fantasy worlds. But with just a single character speaking a different language, that entire layer of abstraction is gone, making the presentation much more literal. Dead or Alive has a few similar occurrences. In DOA 4, the Spartan Nicole speaks English while the rest of the cast speaks Japanese. In DOA 5, which features dual language options for the cast, the 4 Virtua Fighter characters speak one language each, Japanese for Akira and Pai-chan and English for Jackie and Sarah. Likewise, SNK's Mai Shiranui speaks only Japanese. These cases don't really matter because they're just non-canon guest characters whose presence never affects the story. This tells us that the context of the character's presence is important to consider. And for an inversion of Warriors All-Stars, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale has the entire cast speaking English except for Heihachi Mishima from Tekken who speaks Japanese, Kat from Gravity Rush who speaks that series' made-up language, and PlayStation's Kuro and Toro who speak a cat language. But despite that, God of War's Kratos and Zeus speak English rather than Greek, as does Naruto from the Eastern-styled Heavenly Sword. Ultimately, I feel that this is the kind of thing you need to think about when planning a story featuring characters from different countries and worlds coming together, and yet surprisingly few creators actually do. I'm sure not every viewer is going to think about it on as deep a level as I am, but I'd wager that those that do will have a harder time not being distracted by this once they notice this little detail. What do you think? Is this the kind of thing you notice? Do you know of any other games that have one character stand out in spoken language like this? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And while I'm signing off like a typical YouTuber, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And here's a lifeless end card to close out on. Wow, YouTube sure makes it easier for creators to express themselves through bland uniformity. YouTube more like uniformity tube, am I right?